Beautiful. Thanks. This is the single most, they are reporting, that's okay, you can go back and look at what I say on this call. I thank y'all for being here. This is the most important class that you could ever take. There's nothing you can do that's more important. And I'm gonna say that, and I'll stand by this. I'm flying to San Diego in 2 weeks for Brian Buffini. He is the referral king. It is exactly the model of what I've done over the years. Your sphere of influence matters, and working by referral. So this class to me is the single best class you can do. Then I can study her, and she's already done 10 million this year. Would you not want to be in a class somebody already done 10 million? Right? I knew you would say that, and no, you're not. You're under 10. Right now, you might have turned in some stuff because you're a transfer. Oh, you have her. I'm talking about you right now. Let me.
If I have my phone, I can tell you.
I have it right here. I know exactly what you have. It's in my hands. So it's not as easy. This one, yeah, so I had to give her acting like she was. So at 10 million, and goes by 11 million, good, that's awesome. But here's what life is about. It's about referring people that love and respect you. So people ask me all the time, there's no secret pill to this game. There's not. But everybody wants to know, what do you do? What do I do? What do I do? It's right here. And there's 5 or 6 of you took advantage of that. So soak this up. I didn't know what the class is about, but the referral business matters. Your social media matters. Grow business with your daughter. Every Tuesdays, they do a video. That's it. I said the right date.
I like the goof that you guys put on.
But that matters, so people are watching it. So you guys, it's a people business. COVID was the biggest lesson for all realtors. And if you don't have people in your sphere of influence, you have no business and you will be broke. If you choose to have 200, like this old 201 joke that we had in one, you'll be broke. You have to build it, and so that it will give you more and more referrals of the job you do. That's what I'm gonna say. Thank you for doing this class. This class means the world to me because this is all you should have to do. How many open houses do you do? You.
I did one this year.
Oh, I'm sorry, one. Once you have a group, but you're great, right? And you see the business we're doing. So I want y'all to hear what she's saying about building a referral business and build it big. So take it away.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. And as Mike is always saying, we're not in the real estate business, we're in the real estate space, but we're in the relationship business, and I truly believe that. And so that is what this class is about. There's a lot of different business models out there. You can, call FISBOs and expires. You can, really make your money buying leads or, being a Zillow preferred agent or, there's different ways to do it. But the way that I've done it is to, just grow organically through referrals. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So I've been in this business for 17 years now. Do we have that slide? No, there we go. Can I get it? So just a little bit about me. For those of you that don't know me on Zoom. I've been a full-time agent for 17 years. I got my license in 2006, and Nina joined me. I needed a full-time person last January, and she was in corporate America, not loving it. So she was like, and she got her license during COVID because she didn't know she'd get a job out of college because it was a losing time. So she got her license and was working part-time for me, joined me full-time last January. Right now, she's still my assistant. So we're trying to figure out if we're going to become a team or how we're going to manage that. But so for the last 17 years, I have technically been an individual agent. I don't do farming. I don't do, really any marketing other than, just touching my sphere. Command is awesome. It gives you that 36 touch template if that feels good to you. I finally got organized enough to be in command after Nina joined me. So for the first 15 years, I was just doing spreadsheets and trying to track things and do things that way. But basically, over the years, I've just built my business by taking people to lunch and my favorite old law has come from contribution, and I really feel like people can feel that from you too. So I've always tried to do the right thing for my client, not the right thing for me, and sometimes that is really tough and feels really painful. I know over 4th of July weekend, we actually had 4 terminations in 3 days with different situations and clients. One was 2 terminations on the same listing. We had a we had an offer and a backup offer, and they both ended up terminating. And then 2 of our buyers. And so it was just like the worst weekend ever. It was like over 4th of July weekend. I mean, it was just,
That's brutal.
it was just, it was like, it's so painful, but you know, we keep moving forward. And I know they used to make fun of me at my old office. I was at the Keller Williams Developer site for 12 years, and they always called me the bluebird of happiness. And that was during 2008, 9, and 10, and 11, when everybody else was, you know, getting out of the business and crying about it. I was Rookie of the Year in 2007, and I had a lot of investor clients in 2009, 10, 11. So we thought it was a great market. We were just buying houses and getting great deals. And so I've just had to contact with a lot of those clients as well. We had a closing last week that was a client that had bought a house from me 4 years ago. And we sold it Friday for $400,000 more than he paid 4 years ago. So he's thanking me for bringing him a 6-figure income for the last 4 years, you know, and we had a closing a couple of weeks ago with a client who actually had bought the house from me 12 years ago. So that's just to show you that like we really intentionally keep in touch with our clients and keep touching them, and they remember us and they come back to us and call us. So, you know, I don't feel like you need to spend a lot of money on marketing or buying leads or anything like that. But again, like I said, some people, that's their business model and they do great. Like, so if that's for you, you know, find your passion and find what works for you. So this isn't for everybody, you know, everybody might not want to do it this way, but this is the way we do it. So, like I said, we just really prioritize relationships. And I'm not just talking about relationships with your clients, I'm also talking about relationships with vendor partners and relationships with other agents, especially. I mean, make sure that you're the agent that other agents want to work with. I mean, it is so important in this business to have a really good reputation with other agents, especially, you know, the last few years have been so weird. And so, you know, with all the multiple offers and everything, but if you're an agent that another agent has worked with and had a good experience, I mean, I like cookies. We sent tips treats to another agent that we had a difficult, just because she was still being so kind on her side, and we were, you know, she had a house that her seller wanted to sell, sort of. Maybe not, but she had really high maintenance client. I had a really high maintenance client, but through it out, we were both very professional and just kept the positive spin. And we kept saying to each other, like, even if this transaction doesn't work out, at least we got to spend more time with each other and have conversations and get to know each other better. You know, so hopefully our next transaction maybe will be a little bit easier or better. And we are actually closing on that next week. Which is great, but really cultivate those relationships with other agents too. Be an agent that other agents want to work with. Be an agent that your vendor partners want to work with. I've sold my contractor's house. I've sold my painter's house. I've had referrals from the pest control guy. You know, I always feel better like walking into the bank and depositing my commission checks. I don't put them in the ATM and I don't put them, you know, through the drive-through. I always go in. So everybody at that Chase Bank knows me and they're always like, oh, you know, and I'm closing today, you know, so they're always talking to me about real estate. So, you know, just, you know, make friends with everybody, talk to everybody, be the bluebird of happiness all the time. You know, I just feel like, again, we're in the relationship business. We're not in the business of selling houses. We're in the business of creating these good relationships. And I really try very hard. Almost all of our clients are either like a direct connection or 1 or 2 removed. Like right now, One buyer is the mother of a client, another is a friend of a client, another is a buyer from a referral from an agent from California. And so I didn't know them as well, so I intentionally sat down face to face with them and said, let's get to know each other better, and then we'll talk about the home search, then we'll talk about what you're looking for. Because a lot of times too, your clients can't verbalize exactly what they're looking for or what they want until they start talking about like what their vision is. So find out their vision and then find out, you know, what their budget is and get them pre-approved and do all that stuff. But really have this face-to-face conversation so you can just let them know that you care. And what's that quote that you love? Nobody cares about.
It's,
What
You said.
what you said to them,
How you made
yeah,
them
they
feel.
care about how you made them feel. So make sure that they know that you care. Yeah,
okay, you're saying when you meet with like new buyer clients, you'll say like, let's meet for coffee and let's just talk about, it's like your personal.
yeah, your
and
life.
we'll
Tell
talk
me
this.
about your life. I want to know, like, how did you, like, right now we've got a young couple with a little baby. I want to know how you met, and I want to know, like, where you want to go. And, you know, some young couples that, you know, Nina has brought a whole new, kind of client to me, because a lot of mine have been, you know, my age and, you know, a lot of relocation and things like that. So she's bringing a lot of the younger buyers to us, right now, which is really cool. And I love to see, like, do you want like a 2 to 5 year plan, or do you want a 10-year plan, or are you the person that, like, you know, your parents lived in the same house for 40 years and that's your vision? So, you know, you really have to find out all those things. Or were you a military kid and you moved every 2 years, and so a house is an asset to you, or is your house like gonna be your life? You know, so you really don't know that when you're just showing them that, you know, if you just send them listings or show them out. You really have to know the people. Who is that? I don't know, Starbucks. I need service. Hunter, you can deliver the Starbucks, that's fine.
No, we always try to make sure we're not meeting our clients for the first time, like at a house. Like
Yeah.
the first house, because we just don't know much.
Do you say, let's get coffee, or like, what do you do? Take
Yeah, a lot of things. They're,
Sorry.
use a vendor question. They're wonderful. They deliver coffee and they're amazing people. Yeah, I usually either, do coffee or lunch for the first time.
We have a slide that we'll talk about like all the ways we connect with
Yeah.
people
Cool.
too.
Yeah, but, like I said, I just really like to know them on a personal level, because a lot of times too, people will be like, what do you do for closing gifts? And, you know, our GLG and stuff like that. I can't ever answer that question because it's different for every single person, because we try to really personalize it to our clients. So, you know, that it's always gonna be different. So I can't ever say like, this is what I always do for a closing gift. I'm not gonna go to the Cutco guy and get the knife set and, you know, give that same thing to every client, which there's nothing wrong with that. Like, that's fabulous, but that's just not me. And again, I think the other thing to really remember is you do have to just be super authentic and be yourself. So if this isn't you, then don't do it, you know, because people can also feel that, you know, they know if you're being genuine or not. So I think that's super important too, is just be yourself, be authentic. If you're the agent that gets most of your business on the tennis court, be in tennis clothes a lot, like that's fine. I think it's just not me, you know, I like to be dressed up and, you know, being like business professional most of the time, and don't wear casual clothes, but you know, I just, again, be your authentic self, I think is the most important thing. And again, just really cultivate relationships with vendor partners. We are having the vendor fair here again in September. I think it's the 10th or 11th, I can't remember. But look for, we're gonna start advertising the vendor fair pretty heavily. And make sure you do come to that vendor fair and meet these vendor partners and let them know you too, because they can make you look really good. I mean, we had an issue with a crawl space, you know, was negotiating house for first time home buyers, and I had a really nasty crawl space. they were a little freaked out about it after the inspection. She said, you know,
I was talking to them a little bit about it, but I'm actually not cultivate expert. I was like, let me give you my contact at Newsec. I talked to Chris and we closed last week.
and they're gonna name their firstborn child Chris.
Yeah. Yeah, and if they don't think of it in like me passing it off with, like, wow, that's so awesome, you have a personal contact at a company, that's amazing. It was his cell phone number, it's like a Saturday morning. His father, the day before Father's Day or something, and he answers the phone.
Yeah.
Talked to them for 20 minutes, and then they were completely comfortable and.
And moving forward. So, I mean, that's so important to be able to have the cell phone numbers of your vendor partners.
I see it, I'm better in everything, like I need to know every detail of crawl space, because I need to know enough to be able to sell the house, but then call the expert and let them be the expert.
Yeah, but have that personal relationship that, you know, that vendor partner is gonna take your call on a Saturday or, you know, I mean, all of our real estate emergencies happen, you know, at 7 o'clock at night or, you know, on the weekend or something, you know, so come to the vendor fair, get to know our vendor partners, get to know, you know, all of the different people that you need that are involved in this transaction. Because again, it's not just about the other agent. It's not just about your buyer. It's about the whole process. It's about your lender. It's about your attorney. It's about your inspector. It's about your contractor. Be able to call a plumber or an electrician or a roofer and be able to send them an inspection report or questions from an inspection and have them respond to you. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is to be able to have face-to-face conversations with them and let them get to know you. So I just think, you know, the relationship building is way more about just you and your client. It's also about having all of the resources that your client needs to have. So just really be intentional about those relationships as well. If, you know, your attorney invites you out to coffee, go. Like, you know, I mean, if, you know, the inspector wants to, you know, have a one-on-one conversation, do that. Just really have somebody that you can call. Super important to have those relationships too. And again, just with other agents, just make sure you can do that. Does anybody have any questions about that or comments or stories that you've had that's necessary? So I know it's sometimes when you're a newer agent too, and you don't have a lot of business going on, you're like, well, why do I need to do that? Well, you need to do it up front. Build that network up
I'll
front.
tell you what, it's made a big difference. Right now this week with a roofer. So I have a decent relationship with Todd and at the roof button. And so I had an elderly client and he has gone out there the day for them to inspect the roof, gone out there to call the insurance company with her, and went out there the day already. It's 3 times and the roof isn't even on the house yet. And went out there already for to meet the insurance adjuster.
Yeah.
I mean, that's 3 times and before he even knew if she was gonna get it.
Right, if he's gonna even have it.
So it's like you have that kind of relationship with people and it really,
Yeah, and
you know, he
how-
came out like immediately, like as soon as I called him, he was out there the next day and making her feel comfortable. So when you have people that, like you're saying, vendors that you have a good relationship with, it really does make a difference for you and for your client, because now she feels comfortable with what she's doing.
But she's also gonna remember you connected him.
Oh yeah, she definitely.
And she's gonna tell all her friends, well, my realtor was able to do this in 5 minutes and get somebody out here and do all this. So, I mean, that's making you look like a hero. So I know my husband used to tease me when I first got my license, because I was going to caravans and meeting other agents, and I was going to the team meetings. That's the other thing, you know, I think, you know, after 17 years, people are like, why are you always at team meeting in the front row? Like, because, you know, we've got vendor partners here bringing value. We've got Mike, you know, bringing in all our strategic partners as well as guests and stuff like that. And you're always going to be getting a little nugget of value. A lot of times our Tuesday tips are something we heard in team meeting. And we're going to get that now because we didn't have anything planned for today because we were just doing something else. So, you know, people are always think it's weird that an agent with 17 years, you need to come to team meeting. Yeah, I think everybody needs to come to team meeting always, I just think it's super important.
Next day, I'm so happy right now.
It's like a reset, it's like a reset every week, and it's awesome.
It's also especially good if you're newer agents, if you're trying to get
My eyes are not.
open houses, like if I get I meet you, you're like, that looks like he's pretty cool, like I could open house, but if I just call you, like, I've never been to before.
1,000%, and that's such a good point, I have that all the time, people will either, call me or text me and say, hey, I'd love to hold your open house, and I'm like, I've never met you, but Sandy came up to me in team meeting when she first started and said, I'd love to do open houses for you. How many open houses have you done for me?
Several,
Yeah.
and then I got to be you guys for a week too.
Yeah. So, yeah, that being here and being face to face with people just is, again, yeah, I mean, it's just.
Done lunch for Teri in the
Yeah,
past,
Yeah, I mean, it's so important to have that. Again, if you're newly licensed or if you're experienced and you just, never come into the office, that to me is weird.
It's about.
It's such a, it's such a solo business, but it's not.
Right, it doesn't have.
It doesn't have
to be.
Not at all.
Right.
And then, yeah.
And some people do see it as a solo business and as competitive. And I see it
It's
as the
collaborative.
opposite.
Yeah.
To me, it's just the opposite. Like, I want to be, in the office and I want to be visible and I want to be connected to other agents and, if I have a question, be able to add, maybe Christine has a listing somewhere and she doesn't, want a lot of people to know about it. She's got a pocket listing, but I see her all the time, so she'll call me about it, or something.
Yeah.
Or vice versa, maybe I've got one, but oh, I know she's got, clients looking in Norcross. I'm gonna call her. Because we've talked, because we've had a relationship. So I just feel like it's, again, super important to have relationships with other agents. This isn't a competition. Like, there's enough business out there for all of us.
Absolutely.
It's just, the connections that you make, you just never know if, we had an agent at my old office too that decided to go in a different direction, to go to corporate America. She sent me a couple of referrals because, she knew me. So, make friends with agents. You never know what the path is gonna lead to or anything. It's, I don't know. I just really feel passionately about just having relationships with other agents and having a good reputation with other agents. I just feel like in this business, if you want to stay in it long term, you've got to have a good reputation with other agents. That's really important to me. So if you guys haven't done, again, if you are newer and you haven't done like a brand or haven't created a logo or anything like that, we have Teri Ehrlich, which, may change if we decide to team up. We might, change our logo, but I've been Teri Ehrlich for a long time and I've had a logo. So have a brand and be consistent with it and use it on everything. Like, we use it on all of our social media. We use it on our, we've got closing gifts that have like their insulated bags that we usually put the closing gifts or champagne or whatever in it. We have note cards with our brand on it, that we write notes to our clients or other agents, giveaways, koozies, whatever. And we use our brand. So I would definitely recommend getting a brand and a logo and just using that and using it consistently. There's inexpensive ways to do it and there's expensive ways to do it. So you can, choose to do that. And there's a lot of great resources just online to do it inexpensively, like 99 Designs and Fiverr and Freelancer. Those are ones that are online that they're like graphic designers will compete for you basically. You kind of give them a little snippet of, I'm a realtor, this is my name, I want a logo, I like this color, whatever. And like however many graphic designers will submit and try to win your business. So you can do it that way. And again, it's pretty inexpensive. And then you've got your brand and your logo and you just start putting that on everything. Again, it makes you look a little more professional, recognizable, because people don't remember my name or know how to say it or spell it a lot, but they'll recognize my logo. You can do it more expensive ways. I know we brought, the Edge Agency in here, if anybody remembers them, they do a great job. That's actually who did mine. They do a much more, thorough and they like kind of do a psychological profile of you and like, do these colors appeal to you? Do they like, they do it a little differently. So it's a little more expensive and it was a longer process, but I enjoyed it. So that's another resource as well. So that's important to me. It's just, again, just to have a brand and a reputation. And people are asking a lot of times too, like, where do I get my clients and how have I built my sphere? So just to go back a little bit, when Nina was, getting ready to go to elementary school, I thought, okay, I can get a real job. I taught yoga for 8 years. And so it was just flexible with my time, taught 8 to 10 classes and did that. And then she was going to school. And so I thought I can get, you know, a real job. My husband does anesthesia. He could leave the OR if they're homesick or have a school day off, holiday or whatever. So I thought, well, real estate, that would be really flexible. I can pick my days off and do all that, and, you know, this will be easy. But I did have already the reputation of being, you know, parent volunteer and the soccer mom, and, you know, I was everything but a rabbi at my synagogue, as people say. So that was kind of my sphere. I was the Girl Scout leader, you know, all those things. So people, I already sort of had a reputation that way, and it was the stuff that I volunteered for was stuff that I cared about. Again, be your authentic self. Don't volunteer for something that you don't really passionately care about, because again, people can tell if you're being fake. Don't, you know, sign up for something because you think, oh, I'll meet, you know, wealthy clients here and be able to jump right into luxury or something. Volunteer for something that you truly, truly care about, because then you can really connect with people on a personal level again and, you know, build your client base from there. You know, everybody knows I love dogs. And so I have over the years become, because I started volunteering with the Atlanta Humane Society, I've probably closed, I don't know, 15 or 20 houses at least of the upper level Humane Society management.
15 to 20, you said?
15 to 20 houses, probably just that way. And again, they relocate a lot and they move a lot. So we've had a lot of transactions that way. And again, it's just because I didn't pretend that I liked dogs. Like, I like dogs better than people sometimes. Like, I love dogs. I really love dogs. But again, don't volunteer for something that you truly don't, you know, care about. You really, again, just be your authentic self and volunteer for things that you really care about.
Teri, how often do you volunteer at Humane Society?
So I don't actually go to the Humane Society and volunteer anymore just because I don't have time. The only thing that I really still do is I do health checks for golden retriever rescue. So I'm on the board at a Pet's Purpose, which does dogs that are trained to be service animals specifically. And I'm just on their board, so I just go to board meetings every once in a while, have to transport a dog, and that's all I do for them. Golden retriever rescue, I just do home checks for them, and I do 1 or 2 a month for golden retriever rescue, and I've been doing that for probably 20 years.
When you had more time, were you going to the actual Humane Society and like just?
Yeah, so, yeah, so, you know, back in the day, I would take the girls, they'll see about all of our dogs. Yeah, all of our dogs, and our cat and most of our pets have come from there too, but, you know, again, it's just because I truly cared about that and connected with those people, you know, and once you are with your people, you know, they become loyal to you. And, you know, I know there's people at the Humane Society that you can't use anybody but Teri for real estate, you know, which is kind of fun. And the other thing that I have done a lot is relocation. back in like 2017, 2018, 2019, I did a lot of relocation. I have, again, one connection with one person at State Farm who reloaded down here. And in 2019, I think I had 26 closings that were State Farm people because they were moving all the people down in those twin towers they were building by the perimeter. And because State Farm said, nobody will ever work at home, ever, 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 ever. That's not our business model.
In 2019,
Right? In 2019. And
the
then
irony.
COVID, and then closing that I sold on Friday for 400,000 more than he paid 4 years ago was actually a State Farm guy. And, you know, you do a great job for one reload person, and they're telling everybody in their department. I remember one time I had clients flying in, clients flying out, and they like talked in the airport, and I was the realtor for both of them. And they said when my new buyers got here, they're like, "Are you the only realtor in Atlanta?" And I was, yes, I am. Actually, there's only one, and it's me. But again, you create these raving fans and these, you know, people that you go a little above and beyond for, and they tell their friends and they tell two friends, and, you know, that's kind of how it happened.
So you got all that relocation business from just the one?
It started with just one guy. He was the vice president of IT who was sent down first to make sure all the IT in the buildings was, you know, was.
And how'd you get him?
A friend of a friend. And I always tell my reload clients, I always tell all of my clients, actually, like, I have to like the house better than you, because if you call me in 6 months and say, I got a job transfer or life change or something like that, I never want to be, why did I let them buy the house? So I'm always looking, you know, as resale too. So, you know, they will go in some houses and I'll be like, no, you're not gonna buy this. I'm gonna go. You're just like, yeah, if you like this house and want to buy it, you're gonna have to call somebody else, because I'm not, you know, I'm not gonna sell this house to you. So, and again, if they feel like you're coming from contribution and you're doing the best things for them, not the best thing for you, they're gonna feel that, and they're gonna appreciate that, and they're gonna tell their friends that, you know? So again, just be authentic and be yourself.
Especially with first-time home buyers, a lot of my friends that I've been working with, and then my mom, you know, works with them too. She has to call up, everyone thinks they're real estate moms, and people really do feel, you know, more comfortable, and what is it, people will work with, people they like and trust.
Right.
Teri, what, like, what would make you tell a buyer, like, you should buy the house? Obviously, there's like serious structural issues, you can see, but like, if it's like deferred maintenance, so you're like, hey, it's not a good house to be buying, like.
Yeah, a lot of it is that, or, you know, I mean, there can be a million different things. It's way overpriced. Maybe, yeah, it's shiny and pretty and you love it, but, you know, it's not $75,000 overpriced. Like,
Gotcha.
I don't want you to get into that situation.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be an ugly house. It can be a really nice house.
Yeah.
But if I'm just feel like the value is not there and they're not gonna see a good return,
Yeah.
then I'm not gonna sell it to them. I'm just not gonna do it. And my clients appreciate that. I mean, like I said, I've, you know, that one that they basically thanked me on Friday for earning them a 6-figure income for the last 4 years. They literally did nothing to their house. And they sold it for 400,000 once they paid.
Where is it located?
Yeah, we paid like 620 for it, and we sold it for $1,075,000. But I knew it when I saw it. I'm like, this is a really great value.
And you're a really beautiful one that I remember, it's on
2
couple acres,
yeah,
yeah.
2.8
I remember that one,
acres.
that's a gorgeous house.
It was a gorgeous house in a subdivision on 2.8 acres,
Yeah.
which again is really weird to, you know, I'm like, guys, this is a great investment.
And you guys went under contract super fast on that one too. didn't you?
Yeah, we did.
I remember
Yeah,
that
just
one.
over the weekend. And again, you know, they have really not done anything to it. So, but when I saw it, I knew you're gonna do well, and I know you're only gonna be here 5 years at the max.
Yeah.
So this is what I would do if I were you, and
That's awesome.
they listened to me and they trusted me, and now the rest of their time, telling their story to all their friends, you know, kind of thing. So, yeah, so that's just something that I'm really will tell clients on the first day, we're looking at houses, like, I got to like this house better than you do, just so you know, upfront. And I'm gonna, I'm gonna be super honest with you, and I'm gonna tell you, like, I wouldn't sell a house I wouldn't live in, too. Like, I'm always looking to say, I would live here, and if I don't say that, then I'm not gonna let you buy the house. You can buy it from somebody else. That's just me. Okay. Yeah, the other thing that we always, make sure we do is we do request reviews. I know a lot of people search online for their agents, and a lot of people, again, especially now that we're not focusing, but we're expanding rather into Nina's generation.
What did you tell me yesterday? I'm not going out. I went into a restaurant, but I couldn't see the menu online.
Correct.
Next to you don't have an online presence now. It's really kind of weird to people, especially my age. I mean, if someone with a referral based business, someone said you gotta work with Teri, and I Google Teri and nothing comes up, I'm like, figured it out.
Yeah.
I wanna see who I'm gonna be meeting with.
Do you have your own like website aside from the KW one?
I do, yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Actually, this year she got a new one. This is so cool.
yeah, we got a new website last year, just because, again, a lot of people are checking us out online,
Yep.
not that I'm using my website to get internet leads or anything, because that's what the web designer asked us, like, what are you creating this for? Do you want to drive, SEO, like, what part is important to you? And that wasn't important to me. What was important to me is when you go to our website, it reflects who we are. So it does have our logo, it has, our pictures, it has our process, like we love the strategy session in the middle part. Come back up for
You sold the house to the kicker?
And wait, who?
Meeting him today with his mom.
Yeah, I mean, he was his mom today.
How'd you get connected to him?
Another agent gave, from where he's from, yeah, so again, be nice to agents. But yeah, he's great, but so you can see the middle thing right there, the strategy session. Once we learn more about you, like that, so we wanted our website to be very you-centric, not me-centric. I'm not, and our social media is the same way, will never let me post like, if I got an award for anything, or, all those real trends ranking, you're in the top 1% of the agents in the country. She's like, who cares? So she won't ever let me post, anything like that. So we try to really only post things that are of value or of interest to our clients. We try to do our Transformation Thursdays where we can, again, highlight like a vendor partner, like this week, it's gonna be a client who's doing a pool. So we'll also tag the person to put the pool in. So again, we try to highlight any vendor partners or shout them out or do a, that's where she, see the bottom, those are who I am. I see the top of her, so she, let me put it in the bottom of the website.
Hey, Mom.
It just scrolls, I'm not allowed to post anything about it. But we do try to, like go out to the community and, I live in downtown Norcross, I love downtown Norcross, I'm super passionate about it, lives in Beverly. We'll try to go and do like a video of Ashford Lane or, the new coffee shop that's coming in Norcross or whatever. So we try to put things like that on our social media that's gonna be interesting to our clients. And again, very, they'll be like, oh, I want to try that new restaurant. Like I posted that we went to Del Bar for brunch and I had somebody texting me going, you're like, Del Bar, we're new kitchen better, which, we're going to, so again, it's not like, I want an award.
So which one you like?
Del Bar. Del Bar.
I don't know.
I mean,
Brunch.
I loved it. It was great. But anyway, just stuff like that. And that's what we try to put on our social media and the website. So the other thing I wanted to say is again, if you're a newer agent or an experienced agent, again, come to as many classes as you can, learn as much as you can about the market. And try to pick an area or a neighborhood or a school district or something that you can become the expert on. Because then again, you're gonna have that reputation, like anybody who lives in 7 Norcross, which, we have several other renters that live in 7 Norcross. But, the joke is, if you want to live there, you have to talk to me. So, be that person, that is out in your community, going to, ladies night or, that is the only place that I wouldn't say I farm it. But I do send out a quarterly update about the, activity in the neighborhood and everything. And I do personalize the letter. It's through, a company called the Real Authority. I don't know if any of you have used them. But you can customize the letter, the cover letter to a point. They kind of do it for you. They pick like a subject for that quarter and they do it, but you can personalize the actual verbiage in the letter.
Do you have an example of one that you can show us? Like,
Yeah.
Find what is it you're coming.
Well, because it's in my KW agent. Oh, great, my agent just told me I have 121 reviews on my profile. So fun.
is it just like you'll just post like the sold homes like on the postcard or something?
Yeah, I'll show you what it looks like. Here.
Is that agent to agent, rated, is rate my agent?
Yeah.
No,
Where do y'all ask for these?
Majority fill out, there's so many now, and we're trying to figure out Google reviews.
This is what it's
been like such a pain.
Okay.
To get them like topic over to, but it's just to get across all the platforms, so it's been one focus on the one.
so it'll have the letter
Yeah,
and you have to find that and then it will have the actual words.
okay, just
Yeah, so that's the one that we focus on, but we'll be.
Nina, just to take it for what it's worth, just because Zillow, I feel like is always looking to cut agents out. I would try and get as many as you can on like Google or other websites.
Yeah.
If they decide to pull them like they did a couple years ago, and all your reviews are there, and you're kind of.
We do have a run.
Rate my agent.
We have a realtor.com. I mean, so we've got them over, some different ones, but that way, if you do Google us, you can find different, platforms for reviews. But yeah, I mean, I think it is, I totally agree. It's important to have them on different websites because you never know what Zillow's gonna do. I mean, they claim to like the agent, but I don't know, we'll see.
I like the ones that pay for.
Well, it's so funny because I've never paid Zillow for anything to, what is it, premium agent or something? Or premier or something, premium or premier agent or something, but for some reason they have me ranked as one. And I guess maybe it's because I have so many reviews, but I've never given them the time, so I don't know. I've always sort of been involved in, I know Nina's so excited now that she's a homeowner, she's on the social committee at her neighborhood.
Yeah,
And
I've already gotten close to deal from it, so it's worth doing, even if it's a little torture.
yeah, so if you have the neighborhood HOA, I would go ahead and, get on the committee if you can. I was the president of our HOA and, our condos in Lake County, so I've gotten a lot of, business that way too. I do sell houses at Lake County as well. We've kind of placed there for 9.5 years. So being on the president of the board there was torture. But again, it gives you an in, it makes you visible. It gives you like some credibility too. And people, come to you and ask you questions about the housing market and things like that. In my current neighborhood, I, do ladies night, I'm on the social committee too. And again, you want to be visible and you want people to come to you. And people love to talk about real estate. People love to know how the market is and always be positive. Even if it's a weird, again, this has been a really weird market, but find something positive to talk about in it. Walking your dog or whatever you're doing, just stop and talk to people, be visible in your community, in your neighborhood, be involved. It's important. And then social media, is again, something that Nina has brought to my life that.
Great presence on it.
You know, we never miss a Tuesday tip. It is absolute torture for me to, for when she starts the video, my mind just
So like
races
our
up.
story from yesterday, I posted a blooper because we are not one case wonders, it takes a long time. Yeah. She just freezes up.
Well, we don't really plan what we're gonna say. We don't write a script out or anything. We just kind of say, okay, what are we gonna talk about today? And then she hits record. So sometimes my mind just goes blank when she does that. So, I don't know, because she's more at ease in front of the camera than I am. But yeah, so it's just, again, like she said, her generation and her people, like, you have to have an online presence, you have to have social media, you have to not just have, you know, it's National Sour Candy Day, but I know that was very important to her, and she was very excited about that holiday yesterday, but, you know, you have to have video. You have to show your personality, you have to engage, you have to provide value. So social media is really important. We do try to connect people with vendors on there as well, or highlight vendors and support local and new businesses in the community. And we do tag, like we had one 2 weeks ago, I think it was, we had used the Great Upholsterer and Peachtree Corners, and they did a fantastic job. And so we highlighted them and tagged them in our posts, you know, so just try to do that, try to, again, connect and engage. And because when you tag somebody too, different people are gonna see it, you might be engaged that way as well. So that's always good to do. Don't just, again, we always do, of course, post our new listings and our, you know, closings once a month. Again, we don't do it every time we have a closing, we don't post a video once a month. So that's kind of what we use our social media for. So the next thing we were gonna talk about is just tracking where your business comes from too. I think it's, again, important to know where your business is coming from. Is it coming from your sphere? Is it coming from your vendor partners? Is it coming from being in your community? Is it coming from your volunteer work? And that way, is it coming from open houses? If you know where it's coming from, you'll know where to focus and where you're having success. If it's coming from calling info, you know, just know where it's coming from. And again, I've always just done like an Excel spreadsheet and I put Castellana's friend, you know, that kind of thing. She's made it more sophisticated and she has like color coded things, tags. I don't even know how to look it up, but anyway. And again, Command is really great about the 36 touch and program and things like that. Which we don't use it exactly like they do, but we do use it to see when's the last time we touched our client, when's the last time we were in contact with that person, when did we do last? So we have these free tools that are amazing. Okay,
So we use the newsletter and then we have everyone on like a monthly neighborhood smart plan. So they can see, you know, what's going on in their neighborhood, like almost at everyone, even if they're not planning to move, they like.
they love to know what's happening in their
Like
neighborhood.
yesterday, we were with a client, Lorraine, and my mom doesn't know when it gets sent out, but she was like, I knew you're caught off guard. And she was like, I saw your email you sent me today, and the, what's going on in my neighborhood, and I can't believe I asked you, and I was like, I know she has no idea. She's not.
Do you guys not like the 36 touch,
No, we do, that's what we use for the newsletter.
We
So
use-
that's like, well, we use that, we just don't do.
We don't
like-
do the whole thing.
Like how it says, now text your clients, now call your clients, we kind of manage it separately for that part.
But I'm letting them personally, but I really don't.
Great.
I love the newsletter and I love the how monthly, just send them like an update what's going on in their neighborhoods, we do those.
So were you ever like making your own like newsletter through MailChimp or something, or?
Only if we have like events, it's really, we use MailChimp, if we're having like a client appreciation event or a giveaway, something like that.
Yeah.
We do it through MailChimp, but we don't, just like we don't have. We need to, I don't understand.
Right, we don't want people to wanna unsubscribe. You know, we wanna just be adding value.
So when you meet someone new, how do you get them connected on the neighborhood without being kind of, sometimes I have to wait
Oh, I'm always very upfront, because again, people love knowing what's going on in their neighborhood. I'm gonna go, hey, what's your email? I could send you out, a monthly update on your neighborhood. They're like, yes, please. I've never had anybody say, no, that's
Even
weird.
if you're not ready now, you can just.
But
Monitor it yourself. and then-
Yeah, just present it that way as positive, like, again, you're adding value to that. It's not because I want you to move, it's because I want you to know what's happening in your neighborhood, and in 5 years, if you do want to move, you'll know what's going on in your neighborhood.
Okay.
The other thing that I think is super important, is to, how many times have I said super important? So, I like to say that all the time. Is to reward the behavior, not the result. So the minute somebody refers somebody, if I get a phone call saying, so-and-so gave me your name, I immediately am sending that person a gift card and a thank you note to their favorite restaurant and saying, thank you so much for connecting me. It might result in something, it might result in nothing, but I'm gonna reward that behavior immediately. Like, as soon as I get that call, don't wait until maybe you've shown them property and maybe you've got them under contract and maybe you've closed. Reward it immediately. And I do try to follow up and say, hey, we just closed with, like, I sent a selfie the other day with somebody saying, look who just closed, and thank you again for connecting us and so great. Things like that, but reward the behavior immediately. Whether or not anything comes of it or not, reward that behavior that, your referral source thought of you immediately. We had a phone call yesterday from a client who bought a house a year and a half ago, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. And he texted me and said, hey, you talk? And I was immediately like, worries, like, I hope everything's okay, like, why? And especially too, because he always usually texts in our group text that we have with Nina and his wife and stuff, but he was just texting me. And he texted me and wanted me to call him because he's thinking about buying a house in South Georgia for his sister. And he just wanted to know how to even start that process. And I'm like, well, first you need to talk to your lender, talk to, Shelter Stanley was his loan officer. Oh, I didn't think to call her. I'm thinking about buying a house. You're my first call. Like, I was his first call. And he wanted to know, what should he do? How should he pay for it? How should he do this? How should he do that? And I knew it, know enough about the process. So make sure you know that. Again, if you're a new agent, come to classes, learn about loan products, learn about how much you need down for, investment property, things like that. Know how that all works so I can be a resource and answer your questions for that. But then refer him off to who he needs to talk to, but just, be top of mind for anything real estate related. And
Teri,
Yeah.
how much is the curious the gift card value that you send just for you get a referral?
again, it depends. I never do the same thing, twice. It depends on if that person's referred me multiple times. I mean, sometimes it might be $100 gift card to their favorite restaurant. Sometimes, it might be a $25 Amazon gift card to, if it's like a client who I know that's a teacher and then they just sent me a rental lead, I'm gonna send them a $25 Amazon gift card. This teacher can always, buy whatever they need there. But if it's, my next door neighbor who referred, their friends go to Doublegate, I know it's gonna be, an $800,000 transaction. Possibly, again, it's on me at that point, what it turns into. I'm sending them $100 gift card to, their favorite restaurant. So it just depends on the client. Again, we try to, and I can't believe I've been talking this long.
Is this there?
Is this my last slide?
Yeah, there's
Okay,
more
cool.
of a picture, so that's.
So ways that we do connect, again, lunch and coffee, whether we're catching up with a past client or meeting a new one for the first time, we always like to do lunch and coffee and just really, again, connect face to face. We do a client event once a year, just again, to connect with those people. I always feel like you get so close to somebody when you're showing property and you see them every day and you talk to them every day and they go, oh, wait, it's like sad because, they think so. I always feel like I call it my birthday party when everybody comes to the client event and I get to see all these people again that I haven't seen in so long, and I just love it. And we found that spring is most successful for us for the client events. Summertime's busy, everybody's on vacations, things like that. Fall, people are school, winter, holidays, and things. So we've always found that spring is the best time for us to do that. we do try to do like a giveaway of back to school, like a reverse gold 100 in the fall, as well. I love dropping off little pumpkins. I call it the pumpkin fairy to my friends with kids. I would drop them off on their front porches. We don't, sometimes we'll text them or call them and say, there's pumpkins on your front porch, and then we get pictures that their kids have decorated them, and or the kids, the video of them going out to buy them, it's so fun. I love to be in the pumpkin fairy. We do that every year as well. I do send a holiday card of my sphere to my database, and it's usually a Thanksgiving card. I just feel like people get a lot of cards, Christmas time, and so I usually do Thanksgiving cards, and because I always say like, I'm thankful for your business over the years, and so I do Thanksgiving cards, yeah.
Hey Terry, have you found out that if you measure every year how much you spend on marketing per year is around 10%, which is usually what I've read or you don't?
We don't really spend any money on marketing that much.
Well, all this stuff, I mean,
Yeah,
everything you
I
do,
would think, yeah, I mean.
promotion,
Things like that. I mean, I would say, client events, we get sponsors for. We don't end up spending a lot of money there. We do big giveaways, usually like an iPad, that's maybe $500. I mean, we'll.
gift cards, this and that and the
gift
other.
cards.
That's
I mean,
regular
all
track
that
it.
kind of stuff. I mean, I don't honestly try too much. I don't track it, because I feel like it's just kind of the cost of doing business. I do baby gifts. I love baby gifts. I love baby.
What do you give for that?
Dogs and babies. I love going to Ehrlich as a gift shop in downtown Norcross, and she does embroidery, so I usually get them, a lovey, the little like blankets with little animal heads on them, and embroider the baby's name and birthday on.
Then we get to go to the house and hold the baby.
And then we get to go to the house and see the baby and stuff.
What's the place called?
Ehrlich.
It's really cute.
Ehrlich, yeah, I love Ehrlich. We do, we do like to tell our clients to like, let us know when you're settled in, so we can come by and see you. So when they're all settled in, we like to go again, so we see them a couple of months after closing, which is nice. We always do home anniversaries, as well, like, can you believe it's been 7 years since you closed on your house? Cheers to 7 years of, happy memories, of thinking of you. So we are really good about home anniversaries as well. And, we try to do birthdays as well. Facebook makes that pretty easy. And, then we do send treats for different things. Like we had a client who was it was such a nervous Nelly. So the minute we were through all our contingencies, we sent chips treats. She was a teacher, I like cookies. So we sent her chips treats to the school. And, so, just said, congratulations, you can breathe. We're through all contingencies, kind of thing. So that's just kind of how we like to connect and just provide that extra layer of customer service and make clients remember you.
Terry, how do you do the reversal for the, I'm sorry, did I interrupt you?
No, it's fine.
What do you do for the reversible? How do you set it up?
We did MailChimp to mail it out, or email it out to them so they knew what it was, and we just picked a date and said, call Terry or Nina on the day, get entered to win an iPad, and then we went live on Instagram, because follow us on Instagram, so that the winner will be announced there. That was last year, it was the first time we did it, when we first started social media and stuff, we needed some followers, so we went live on Instagram. And we did, you can go on those websites and they do like the wheel,
Yeah,
the random,
spinner,
yeah,
yeah.
so we did that live on Instagram, Twitter got picked, and that was iPad.
So just call you and that was it?
Yeah.
Oh, and if you gave me a referral, you got 2 entries.
Yeah, you got an extra entry to connect with us with someone.
Yeah.
Do you usually get referrals from those?
We did, we got like 4 pot potential and 1 actual closing.
Huge.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, there's that, especially the client event, the in-person event, we've gotten like direct referrals from that event, someone coming and saying, my son is about to move, and. For the client event, we did go out, I made a more slide that has like the picture from the last too that we did. It's always in the spring, my business is blurry, but we did, the first year we did spring play themed at a brewery, we actually did it at the same brewery this year too, and then we just did, we're collecting happy pies at the St. Patrick theme. We have a food truck, we have desserts, and it's just kind of like a drop-by event, and then we do giveaways there too, just like raffle tickets. We give away gift cards and sponsored drink stuff, and
So we had an attorney, we had a lender, we had an inspector, and we had a mover there too, and we planned it, so our clients were, really excited to talk to them,
especially if they did their inspection.
Yeah, a couple of them, like, they had done their inspection, and, to see them again and things like that, or, a couple of people were getting ready to move, connected up with, here's that mover that we like, so now he's got a face-to-face. So don't be afraid to ask the sponsors to do it, because they do gain clients and value from it as well. Does anybody have any other questions? So this is one of the, so I read this book, it's a little bit cheesy and corny, because again, I just feel like this is all about building relationships and going just a little bit above and beyond. And this book and the book is The World's Greatest Salesman or The Greatest Salesman in the World, they're both kind of the same, and they're both kind of like, it's a little bit of a story and it's a little bit corny, but again, it's super easy to read, you just see it like the little tiny pages. But it just speaks to, again, just do a little bit more, just, connect a little bit more, just come from contribution, be genuine, be authentic, show people you care. And, you'll do well in this business. So, right?
Thank you, Teri.
Nobody has any other questions? I answered all your questions, I'm amazing. And thanks with Michael and Greg, wait, no, wait, McMahon.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, hey, Mary, I mean, who picked up on that? The whole room did.
That was funny.
Because that's who you are.
I thought it was kind of clever because everybody picked up on, I'm like, oh, it's an excellent event, because that's the way.
Yeah.